2 minutes early. What's going on out there? Hope everybody is well. I came up on an extra day off. I earned it yesterday though, right? But I have some picks, and this isn't necessarily about numbers, but there's a little bit in what I have to present today. But we have this book right here, and this is under the My Books playlist, Math 2Con 2, right? But you got a link in the Math 2Con channel as well as Daily Decodes 81. We're going to look at this. Secrets of the Freemasons by Michael Bradley. So I'll show some pics and I'll just read. Obviously, I'm not going to read all of this. I'll just kind of play off of the pics. I think the majority of these, what's up, Richard? Appreciate you. I think the majority of these pics in the presentation here are out of this. So again, this is just, we like to be creative, right? And I've been talking about these books for a while. So I guess we'll take a look at this one. And you saw the thumbnail. Appreciate you here. And maybe a few numbers at the beginning, and who knows, maybe later. But I'm going to focus more so because what is, this Freemasonry thing about? So Michael Bradley, Secrets of the Freemasons. It's a nice book. This was only $6. $6. Are you serious? Nice. You see that? So I better get going here because, I may have something else to do today. But, all right. So we see a lot of this, right, when we do our presentations and all of that. And hey, I'm not here to teach anything. We're going to go over this book, see what it says. We learn together. I think I put that in the description, right? Okay. So here you go. Picture of the cover. Nice pic, right? I like putting these together especially with the backgrounds. Not all of them are perfect, but again, I like to be creative. All right. Oh, okay. So now that we see that G right there, if I ask Google right here, this is what it says. You see that? It says the G at its center remains subject to dispute. Some experts at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, for example, believe the G in the symbol center represents geometry, a critical field to the first Freemasons, while others believe it represents God. Okay, the grand architect of the universe. And you hear whatever you want to, put with it. I mean, that's what Google says, right? And G, the seventh letter of the alphabet. Isn't 777 like lucky in the Bible, or sevens used the most? I know Trump equals 77 and United States equals 77 with gematria, right? Talk about G. Okay, so there's that. People can interpret that how they want it. Okay, so there's the Wikipedia page here, and we'll get to the pics here. So this says Freemasonry or Masonry refers to fraternal organizations and guilds of stonemasons that, from the end of the 14th century, regulated the qualifications of stonemasons and their interaction with authorities and clients. Again, blah, blah, blah. Like, you can't figure out what they're talking about here. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's just, what are you? Look, like I'm looking for keywords that pop. Nothing pops with the Freemasons. So, anyways, we'll get into it here. I think that's like the second time I said that, right? I appreciate 3 people. So, the secrets of the Freemasons. All right, as I open right here. All right, that's what I'm looking at here. So, some of these chapters seemed popped a little more than others, but I have a little something on all of these. Up to 120, you see, chapter 8. And again, I'm not reading all of this. We're on the fly. You know what I'm saying? It's nice out. I'm in the backyard, got the day off. So let's see what's up here. So you see chapter 1, early history, 2, inside the lodge, 3, secret symbols, 4, the Masonic handshake, 5, pagan rites, 6, covert cousins, 7, Masonic murder. How about that? You get the double 13 there with the 13th letter. Unlucky, right? In the US, there's no 13th floor in the hotels, right? Y'all can let me know. Y'all can let me know that. Okay. Anyways, secrets and lies 8. So, okay, they have some Freemasons in here. Famous Freemasons. It says past and present. Okay, we get Gene Autry, and here's where we get some numbers. And then again, the rest will probably just be reading because they don't give you a lot other than just the terms we enter in the calculator, right? But we know the connections. So they note this. Gene Autry, the only entertainer to have 5 stars on Hollywood's Walk of Fame. I don't know when this book's dated, if any of this has changed, but at some point, right? 5 stars on Hollywood's Walk of Fame with a career in entertainment. Doesn't Hollywood equal 33 like masonry? Y'all may have to double check that for me. I make mistakes too. Y'all let me know. I think it does. With a career in entertainment. Oh, look at this. Look at this. If you can't see it, I'll show you. With a career in entertainment spanning 70 years. There's that 7, huh? With the 7th letter. I didn't even... That's just hitting right now. The G, right? 70 years. The singing cowboy. I didn't even enter that. But look, a 33rd degree Mason. Now we break off. We can break off to the calculator now. Okay. We can... Yeah, I needed that. All right. I'm prepared. Okay, so we can put masonry. And if you can't see that 33, I'll show you. Look, you see that right there? Masonry 33 in the calculator. And it says a 33rd degree Mason. 70 years. G, 7th letter. Right? You see the logo. Okay. Let's put singing cowboy real quick. I'm having to stretch here towards the calculator. Oh, let me get back to it here. All right. Let's put singing cowboy real quick. We can use the if we need to. Okay. And let's just see what. Okay. That's okay though, because there's more. Let's go back over here. And you know what? I did kind of need that because it fits right in. Let's see. I want to see. Oh, you see it right there. 33rd degree Mason. Yeah, you see it right there. Your eyes are probably better than mine. Yeah, you see that. Look at that. Gene Autry dies 10/2, October 2nd. And 102 in reverse reduction. That's how they put the name. Orvin Grover Gene Autry, 102. Told you we got some numbers. I mean, I guess I just can't help myself. With that connection we just hit. Now look, here's another character. Ludwig van Beethoven. I have this decode, and I may be butchering the name, but I have this decode on this character. I think I did the birthday decode. So they're letting you know here. It says, I'm trying to, where do I pick up here? It says there is no definite proof that Beethoven was a Mason, but there are good grounds for believing he was. Many of his friends and fellow musicians were Masons, and there are several references to Masonry in his correspondence. The hauntingly beautiful slow movement of his string. Look at this. Let me make sure you can see this. Here, oh my gosh, here we go with the 7 again. This is all on the fly. Yeah, you see it right there. If I can see it, you can see it. Look at that. The hauntingly beautiful slow movement of his string quartet number 7. You see that right there? Hold on. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. A, B, C, D, E, the 7th letter, right? Am I getting confused here? A, B, C, D, E, F, G. G's the 7th letter. And there's that G again with the logo. And they said what? Geometry or God or, whatever you want to insert here, right? What are the odds of that? And then we had the 7 with Gene Autry. I like this. This is why we can go live and there's no pressure. People want us to be pressured, right? But we're not. And then we go back over here and it says with the career in entertainment spanning 70 years. Okay. So, it says slow movement of his string quartet number 7 in F major. I'm not going to run that right now. Bears the inscription, a weeping willow of acacia tree on the grave of my brother. Acacia is often placed in graves or on coffins. Remember Stacey Graves, the Kansas City police chief? And she just hit, and she's been hitting with a lot of this downfall in the Kansas City community, right? As a result of the Super Bowl 58 victors. Oh, the Kansas City Chiefs, as she's the police chief. Anyways, placed in graves or on coffins at Masonic funerals. Acacia, right? As a symbol of the immortality of the soul. Both of Beethoven's brothers were alive when this was written, so it is most likely a Masonic reference. He also attended concerts at which full Masonic rites were observed. It seems unlikely that he would have been allowed to do this if he wasn't a Mason. Doesn't that make you think of Damar Hamlin and the scripted cardiac arrest on the field? Remember number 33, Neil? Didn't Neil? Right? You see how I'm letting you know, right? And you see how you see that? Man, let's back up. Hold on. Woo, I love it. Again, The Secrets of Freemasons by Michael Bradley. Nice. You see how on the fly it hits too, right? That's perfect. So let's move forward. I'm not going through all the celebrities. I just, we're just kind of hitting a little bit as we go here. Oh, okay. See that? I have to full screen it. It cut it off for me. So we have some numbers. Beethoven, 3 out of the 4 bass ciphers that we use. Look at that. 96, 42, and 147. And you know what? Let's go over here real quick. Oh, you know what? No, we're good. We're good. Ooh, oh, I don't know what I did there. What did I do? Okay, let me not do that. Math equals 42 as well, right? Anyways, look. Look at Beethoven, 9642 and 147. Freemason, 9642 and 147. Okay, and Masonry with the 39 like Beethoven, and G, the seventh letter. And we just hit on that, right? String quartet number 7. You know what I'm saying? And they say there is no definite proof Beethoven was a Mason. Like, I mean, this would be close. But anyways, I mean, this is just what I do. Okay, so we move forward. That came together nice. Let me look at StreamYard here. Let me make sure we're still sharing. Oh, okay, yeah, we're here. Hello. Let me back up just real quick. All right, cool. So we have 4 people. I'm glad y'all are enjoying, or at least giving me a shot, right? Okay. So look how it comes together here. I don't know why it's cutting off the top of the screen. Let me see if I can. I would like to fix that real quick if possible. I don't like that. But we'll see. Let me see. Oh, okay. There we go. Cool. All right, we're good. So Winston Churchill, Nat King Cole. Winston Churchill, let's pull him up real quick. Former Prime Minister. Let's verify this. And Nat King Cole, the musical pioneer, jazz pianist. Right? Let's let me share this right here. Who is Winston Churchill? Oh, okay. Former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. All right. I didn't want to air that. And Nat King Cole, the musical pioneer. You know, politics 113. And of course, with that birthday, 11/30. Come on, y'all. And with politics, and then that 74, and that 74, big in the United States. Well, whatever, right? Independence Day, and so on and so on. Independence Day equals 74, blah, 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 right? So the 113, and who just won the Super Bowl? The K and the C, K the 11th letter, C the third. Kansas City Commander in Chiefs. Okay. All right. So I still haven't got any reading, huh? Dang. But we have nice picks, right? You know, listen to me talk as I get into it here. There's the G again, the 7th letter, and you saw it hit already on the fly. I had none of those 7s even. I don't have time to like sit and think like that. I just got to go, you know? So here's chapter 1, and I'm not going to read a whole bunch here, but we're just going to go through. Not a big book. Uh, the Regius manuscript, or the Regis, however you want to say it. Regis sounds easier. Written at the end of the 14th century. This poem is the earliest known Masonic document. I'll just show that for now. Let's pick right after here. Okay. It lays out rules. Oh, do I have a background? Oh, we can do that. Yeah, that's cool. All right. It lays out rules, 15 of them, as well as a history tracing Freemasonry back to ancient Egypt. It instructs how a Mason should conduct himself in business and in life. So it's called the Regius manuscript. You see it right there? Masons were in demand all over Europe during the Middle Ages when Gothic churches were being built. In every major town and city, there were Masonic lodges where a Mason could get board and find social and professional fellowship. Masons enjoyed an exalted position until the decline of Gothic architecture in the 16th century. It is not known when the transition from operative to speculative Freemasonry occurred, but we do know that a Scottish lodge was admitting non-operatives by 1672, and that some lodges in England were completely speculative by 1646. Okay, and then they have something here on sacred geometry as well. Let me do. I guess yeah, that'll work. So it says sacred geometry. Many occultists look back even further than the Middle Ages for the origins of Freemasonry. It is probable that the Masons gained their secret esoteric knowledge from a pagan Hermetic tradition dating back to a pre Christian era. It was the same knowledge of sacred geometry which enabled the Egyptians to build the Great Pyramids. And again, I wasn't around for any of this, right? So, we take any information that we can get, right? And we, whatever, we add it to our tool belt, right? It's all knowledge, you know, and we're open minded. So the mythical origins of Freemasonry date back further still to the building of the Temple of King Solomon in Jerusalem around 1000 BC. Stories and legends of King Solomon are found in the Old Testament. It says 1 Kings and 2 Chronicles. There may be another way to say that, but and subsequent Judaic and Islamic commentaries upon it. Okay, and they talk about Harim Abif. And I think I heard Rambo connect that to the Damar Hamlin kneeling scripted cardiac arrest on the field. I don't know if it says anything like in here about that. I don't know if you've heard of that as well, Richard, but okay, so they mentioned that. And Haram or Hiram Abif, you get the H like Hamlin. Haram, Hamlin. You get Ram in there. He didn't play for the Rams, though, the Bills. Okay, and what else do we have here? I guess we could just go there for now. Let me see if I can read where this pick is, and I'll read by it. Appreciate the 3 people I see. Okay, so I'll read. I don't know necessarily if the pick goes with what I'm about to read here, but I'm going to read a paragraph or so here. It says the first meeting of the Grand Lodge didn't take place in a grand building. It was convened, or I think you say it like that, convened in the back room of a public house. Taverns were the focal point of social life where people met to conduct business, eat, drink, and sing. The elaborate Masonic symbols and initiation ceremonies hadn't been invented yet. It seems from the little we know from lodges of that period that ceremonies were basic and brief. Symbols were limited to the lodge panel, and there was no special furniture or physical tools. Symbols were drawn on a tracing board or on the floor with chalk and coal, and then erased at the end of the meeting. Okay, that's interesting. That is interesting, huh? Hmm. I don't know. That's interesting, like erasing history, right? Masonic meetings were primarily social events involving dinner, drinking, and most important, singing. The Masonic lodges in these early days were not steeped in the ritual and symbolism which developed during the next few centuries. But who are we to know, right? Men came together for conviviality and social refuge at a time of political and social uncertainty when new scientific and economic opportunities were being developed and when rationalism was beginning to lay the foundations for the humanistic and empirical society which we enjoy today. Okay. So the first Masonic Lodge opened in the United States on April 13th. Check this out. I got to show you this. 1733. So you get 134. You get 1733. And I think Mason equals 17. Look at that. The first lodge, Masonic lodge, opened in the U.S. in 1733. Masonry 33, and the 33rd degree Mason we hit on earlier. And 17, look over here. I think, let me go to the calculator. I think Mason checks in with the 17. Oh, what happened here? Let me refresh this. Here, let me see if I can go, if my other calculator is available. Oh, yeah, it is. Okay, let's go over here. I think Mason's got the 17. Mason's got the 17 right there. Okay, and it opened the first Masonic Lodge in the U.S. on April 13th, 1733. So that would be the 13th day of the 4th month, right? Let's see if we have a 134 so far right here. Or let me make sure you're seeing this. You're not. Okay. Okay, so there you see it right there, Mason 17. Oh, did we lose our other? I thought we had some other stuff. Oh, you know what? I had it. No, I won't re-enter it. But I had all of the. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa! Oh, that's without the N. Damn. I thought we had April 13th right there. Oh, okay. I was freaking out. Whoa, you get 147. Okay. Oh, okay, we're good. Okay. All right, we're good. All right. So let's go back over here. Let me move on to the second. I feel like I'm going to sneeze too. Okay, let's move on to the second. Okay, they have some more notables in here. Famous Freemasons, past and present. See if any of them pop. Benjamin Franklin, scientist. Gerald Ford, the 38th president of the U.S. Henry Ford. Ford, the son of a prosperous farmer who grew up to revolutionize the automotive industry, right? Clark Gable, the biggest box office star of the early sound film era, was a Shriner, the ancient Arabic order of the nobles of the mystic shrine, an order appendant to Freemasonry. Okay, now we're on to chapter 2, inside the lodge, okay? Hopefully you can hear me well. A lodge is both the building where Masons meet and also a collective term for the Masons who meet there. Masons have met in lodges since the Middle Ages when the great cathedrals were being built and the operative Masons had a special temporary buildings where they planned their work received. Okay, let me say this again. Where they planned their work, received their pay, and socialized during their leisure time and slept, called lodges, right? It says from the French word loge, Loge, meaning cabin. Okay. Oh, and they go on to talk about the 33 degrees of Freemasons as well. Let's read another couple sentences on the lodges, though. Let me see what's the next page. Okay. So, while there is some variation among them, lodges are always set up in the same geographical configuration as shown in this diagram. Okay, I got to go to another page, I guess, for that. But anyways, no, you see that right there, right? In order to reproduce the scheme of the great Temple of Solomon. Oh, okay, so that's not, let me show you the pic. I don't have that. Let me show you here. Okay, so it's like it's right here. Let me read that again, though. It says, while there is some variation among them, lodges are always set up in the same geographical configuration, as shown in this diagram, in order to reproduce the scheme of the Great Temple of Solomon. See that? It's a nice book for $6. Just trying not to bend it up as well. So there you kind of see that. It looks like I'm bending it. Huh? It's okay. I mean, these books are wonderful. I'm for real. Look at that. Okay. All right. So let me go back to this right here. Right here. Let me see how it looks like this. Yeah, that's okay. We can do that for a second. Okay, let's do, it says the 33rd degree, the 33 degrees of Freemasonry. And we already hit on some 33s with our, we do these numbers and we know about some of these already, right? So many people mistakenly believe that in order to become a Mason, one must be secretly approached by a practicing Mason and invited to join. Okay, and I know that that's not true myself. Masons are actually forbidden from recruiting or even encouraging others to join the fraternity. That's okay. I can agree with that. That's a good way to go about it, I think. Masons are allowed to talk to their friends about Masonry while they enjoy it and the good works that Freemasons perform, but they are instructed not to reveal any information about Masonic practices and rituals. Okay. The Masonic explanation for this is that becoming a Mason is a very personal choice, which affects how a person will live the rest of his life. And notice how they said his, right? What's the female faction? What's the name of the Freemason group for females? What does this say over here? What does this say? The Honorable Fraternity of Ancient. Was that supposed to say ancient? Look, took as its subtitle in 1958 the Order of Women Freemasons to make its single sex nature more obvious, and it is by this name that it is known today. I haven't heard that. The Order of Women. Let's pull it up. Let's pull up pictures here. See that? All right. All right. Let's go back over here. Okay, so let me see. Where did I leave off? Okay, so I finished that. Joining the craft. A person who wants to join should approach a Mason and ask for a petition. He fills this out and returns it to that Mason, who presents it to the lodge. The master of the lodge then appoints a committee to undertake a background investigation and interview the applicant to find out more about him and his reasons for joining. Finally, the lodge votes on whether or not to accept him. The vote of acceptance must be unanimous. If a single lodge member rejects the applicant, the person is refused admission. If successful, the man is given a date on which he will perform the entered apprentice degree. A Mason must profess belief in a supreme being. An atheist cannot become a Mason. Okay. What is a degree? Let me go over here. Let me pull up another pic here. A degree in Freemasonry. Let's pull that up. I'm going to show the pics and I'm going to read out of the book. All right here. All right, so a degree is a stage or level of membership, the first three of which are entered, apprentice, fellowcraft, and master mason, which each degree teaches the brother a set of moral and spiritual lessons that he must assimilate in order to progress to the next degree. Teaching takes place in the form of rituals, literature, and symbolism. Once a brother has completed the third degree, he becomes a master mason and purportedly, I don't know how to say that, equal to all other masons within the craft. As he progresses through the degrees, more signs, symbols, and secrets are revealed to him. A master mason supposedly knows everything there is to know, and the next 30 degrees of the Scottish Rite are merely refinements. Hear that? This sounds very worthy in principle, but in practice, a lot of senior masons have admitted that there are secrets to which the rank and file have no access. Okay. And it goes on to show, go back over here, Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. Okay. J. Edgar Hoover, the infamous head of the FBI. For nearly half a century, he became a Mason at the age of 25. I'm reading here. Okay, now let's go on to 3 secret symbols. The public perception of Freemasonry is synonymous with its symbols: the apron, the rolled up trouser legs. They talk about LL Cool J doing that a lot, right? The compass and set square, the secret handshakes at the first degree initiation ritual. The entered apprentice says, "Here all is symbol." Let's go over here. I don't know if I'm there yet, but I'll just show you that right now. He acknowledges that he is beginning a journey during which more and more Masonic symbolism will be revealed to him as he progresses through degrees. Okay. In the Middle Ages, when illiteracy was widespread, symbolism was an important way of communicating ideas, a visual shorthand that could be understood by a cross section of society, regardless of whether they could read or write. As literacy increased, the need for symbolism declined, so that by the 20th century, although Masonic symbols were an integral part of the rites and rituals, their deeper meaning to the rank and file Masons had been lost. Critics argue that they had never been privy to the true meaning, and that this was revealed only to the elite at the 33rd degree and above. Apprentices are encouraged to reach further and to gather what is scattered. This appears over and over again in Masonic rites. They talk about the all-seeing eye here. We'll talk about this right here, what you're seeing, and then maybe I'll go back to that all-seeing eye, the apron, and we'll get some of that in. They have the double-headed eagle here too coming up. So a checkered floor with alternating black and white squares like a chessboard takes an important place in the center of the floor of any Masonic lodge. We hear about this all the time, you know, and I even bring it up in my decodes, right? So sometimes it covers the entire floor and invites the entered apprentice to be mindful of the interplay of opposites. You know why? Because that's what keeps the world divided, with the distraction, right, left. You know what I'm saying? What, tall, short, red, blue, Bloods, Crips, man, woman, add alien, just more divide, right? But here, let me put me. Okay. Okay, so it invites the entered apprentice to be mindful of the interplay of opposites, mercy, and justice. So they balance. They want the world balanced. It keeps everything the same. We never progress, right? So it just keeps everything balanced. It may do that, whatever, reach a high, reach a low, but it's going to balance. They keep everything balanced, the end result. That's my opinion. Okay. It says reward and punishment, emotion and reason, revenge and love. So it's all that balance, right? Ultimately, it represents the deity as perceived in daily life. Masonic texts of the 18th century refer to the mosaic pavements as the Moses pavement, and other texts claim is the pattern used on the part of the ground floor of Solomon's temple where the high priest walked. I don't want to read all of this because I want to move forward. They have the all-seeing eye and the apron right here. Let me show you these. Let me. Oh, I hit the wrong button. It's right here. Show you those pics right there. You see? Okay. I'll read a little. I'll read like a sentence or so of those. We'll just do this. The all-seeing eye, the ancient symbol of the mystical eye, is not unique to Masonry, although the all-seeing eye atop an unfinished pyramid appears on the original U.S. seal and the back of a U.S. $1 bill. The symbol was a familiar artistic convention for an omniscient, ubiquitous deity in Renaissance art. Okay. And the apron, made of pure white lambskin, the apron is the most important symbolic element in Masonry. Okay. And notice how they said it's pure white. Okay. It is worn by every Mason to all lodge events, and it is the first symbol to be explained to the entered apprentice. I think you'll see the celebs, right? I think Shaq and maybe Trump, or Trump was holding one, something like that, with the apron, if I'm not mistaken, right? Or maybe it was some kind of handbag or something. Anyways, don't quote me on that. But Shaq, anyways, showed his ring, right? So it is worn by every Mason to all lodge events and the first symbol to be explained to the entered apprentice. While it has developed from the larger protective apron worn by operative Masons, okay, I showed you. I'll show you the pic again. Okay, in the Middle Ages. Symbolically, it is an emblem of innocence and the badge of a Mason. And again, they say pure white, right? It represents the purity of life, rectitude of conduct, and honor of constructive work and sacrifice. Sacrifice, right? Right. You get all-seeing eye right there. All right, so let's move forward. Let's see what's next here. Oh, okay, you get the eagle, the double-headed eagle, right? And bird equals 33, right? The number 33, the Celtics, like Masonry and 33rd degree. And when you pull up the 33rd degree Mason, it pulls this pick up, right? The double-headed eagle has been used as a symbol of power for over 4,000 years. U.S. equals 40 and 4, United States equals 40 in Gematria, and is part of the distinctive regalia of the 32nd and 33rd degrees of Scottish Rite Freemasonry. It is often called the Eagle of Lagash, after its use in the ancient Sumerian city of Lagash, or Lagash, not sure exactly how you pronounce it. The symbol was assimilated by the Hittites and then adopted by the Seleucid Turks and the Crusaders during the Middle Ages. The Emperor Charlemagne used the symbol in Europe, and it became an official Masonic symbol in 1758 by the body that called itself the Council of Emperors of the East and West. Now, I believe that we have 58s, as it said that, as I read that, with Freemasonry, 58. Freemasonry equals 58 in reduction. You see? In the pure cipher. Okay, and then it says right here, the Emperor Charlemagne used the symbol in Europe, and it became an official Masonic symbol in 1758. And again, Mason equals 17. By the body that called itself the Council of Emperors of the East and West. There, right? 1758. You see? Right? I mean, we learned together. But I am the numbers guy, though, right? Okay. So, but the double-headed eagle is more than merely a chivalric device or a symbol of double jurisdiction. For Masons, it represents alchemical transformation of the lowly and earthbound scorpion, the sign of Scorpio, into the soaring, majestic creature. The eagle is also an alchemical symbol of purified sulfur and represents the ascending spirit. The two heads can be interpreted as the union between matter and spirit. All right, so let's move on to 4, the Masonic handshake. I'm trying to speed it up a little bit here. I was shooting for an hour. If it goes a little over an hour, that's cool. It took a few minutes to start, so we'll end quicker than we started. Okay, it shows Charles Lindbergh, Edward Jenner. Okay, we get a Jenner, Harry Houdini, Al Jolson, all famous Freemasons, past and present. It says, but let me see. That's all past, basically. When was this book? Let me see real quick. When was, I don't know. I mean, it's fairly new, but just wanted to see. Let me see a date on it. All right. It's a new book. Oh, it's nice though. $6. Wow. Oh, we get 2006. Okay. See that? All right. So the Masonic handshake. During the Middle Ages, a series of handshakes were introduced to enable Masons to identify each other and to prevent fraudsters from passing themselves off as skilled craftsmen. Today, the Masonic handshake or grip is taught to Blue Lodge Masons during the 3 initiation ceremonies. For the first 3 degrees of Freemasonry, there is not 1 grip, but 5. There are also other poses known as the Dugard, and sign. Those are separate, Dugard and then sign, that differ for each degree and are used to salute the worshipful master and gain entry to the lodge. In this chapter, all of these secret signs will be revealed. Again, I'm probably not going to go over everything. I know I'm not, but during the initiation ceremony for each degree, a candidate is shown the grip. Okay, that's not necessarily what I'm reading here. So let's go back here. Okay, do guard and sign that correspond to that degree. No one is allowed to be present, in any degree of masonry unless they are of that same degree or higher. So these grips are used to demonstrate that a brother has reached a certain degree and can privy to the business of that meeting. It's almost like what? Like we need to pick up on these habits because we don't have no privacy now, right? We're all online, you know? We need to go back to just old interactions, maybe. Are we going to be around to see that come back around? I don't know. But okay, so now we'll move forward and I'll read this right here, okay? This says this it says grip handshake of an entered apprentice. It's Boaz. The grip of the entered apprentice is made by pressing the thumb against the top of the fist of the first knuckle joint of the other mason. The other mason reciprocates. You see that? Let's see if we can pull up some celebrities doing this. Celebrities doing the grip handshake Boaz. Let's see. Inside the world. Let's pull up. Let's see if we get some images here. Okay. Chance the Rapper and Obama right there. You see? I don't know if it's exactly that handshake, but yeah, it looks like it. Joe Buck's handshake. All right. So, anyways, some of those. Oh, I should have put Mason. Huh? Let's do that real quick. But yeah, you get the point. All right. Okay. So let's go back. Let's go back over here. All right. Okay. The name of this grip is Boaz, which is described as a certain friendly or brotherly grip whereby one mason may know another in the dark as in the light. Boaz, representing strength, is the name of the pillar on the left of the entrance to the porch of King Solomon's temple. That's very interesting. Okay. Let's see what else we have in here. Okay. Let me see what the next pick is. Okay, here we go. We can look at this. So this says right here, grand hailing sign of distress. After receiving instruction in the grips, signs, and the 5 points of fellowship of the Master Mason, the candidate is taught the grand hailing sign of distress. Raise both hands toward heaven. This is number 1. With each arm forming the angle of a square or a 90-degree angle, with flat palms facing forward. Lower the arms in the third distinct motions to the sides so the arms come to rest naturally on either side of the body. If a Master Mason is in distress, is in a place where the grand hailing sign of distress cannot be seen, he may utter a verbal substitute for the sign. Very interesting how deep this goes. O Lord, my God, is there no help for the widow's son? He may utter if a Master Mason in distress is in a place where the grand hailing sign of distress cannot be seen. Wow. The sign and the words should never be used together. The candidate also utters the oath. Furthermore, I do promise and swear that I will not give the grand hailing sign of distress of a Master Mason, except for the benefit of the craft, while at work or for the instruction of a brother, unless I am in real distress. And if I And if ever I should see it given, or hear the words accompanying it by a worthy brother in distress, I will fly to his relief. If there is a greater probability of saving his life than losing my own. Okay. Let's go on to chapter 5. And there's 8. So yeah, we're gonna fly through this. Okay, so we're at 55 minutes. Okay, not bad. The questions most frequently asked about Freemasonry are: is it a separate religion? Is it compatible with other faiths? Is it essentially pagan or even satanic in nature? The American Heritage Dictionary of the English Language defines a religion as an institutionalized system grounded in the belief in a reverence from a supernatural power or powers regarded as creator and governor of the universe. That sounds interesting. I can almost agree with that. A lot of times I just look at like, how does it sound at the core? I don't know, but you can't always go by that with all the deception going on, right? It would be nice, but let's see. So Freemasonry seems to fit this broad definition easily, but what we are really asking when we pose this question is Freemasonry a separate religion? Freemasons always argue that Masonry is not a religion, and they often bring other conditions into the debate to define religion. Many Masons argue that to be a religion, an organization must propose its unique plan for salvation or path by which one reaches the afterlife. It must have a theology which attempts to describe the nature of God and the way in which we should communicate with God. Okay? The term mystery religion means that it is a religion in which elements are kept hidden from the profane non-members, what that means. You can only learn these elements by going, and this is a quote from William J. Schnoebelen, not sure who that is. You can only learn these elements by going through a formal initiation in which you are ceremonially set apart from the masses and sworn formally to secrecy. Notice how a lot of these celebrities will go missing in action and then they'll say it's like an injury or something, right? Only then are you entrusted with the group's secrets and then in degrees. Think about your degree, college degree, secret societies, fraternities, right? Sororities. John J. Robinson, an author of Born in Blood. Wow, interesting, man. Damn. The Lost Secrets of Freemasonry expresses this conventional Masonic idea in the ceremonies and lectures that lead to a man being raised to the statue of Master Mason, or the status of Master Mason. He hears no description of heaven or hell. He hears no religious dogma. He hears no mention of Satan. He is told of no Masonic pathway to salvation for the simple reason that there is none. The only religious item in the Masonic Lodge is the holy book of the initiate's own faith. It actually doesn't sound too bad. You know what I mean? This is why we learn this together. But again, sounds good, right? Sounds good. Now, is good? Again, they practice the duality with good and bad, right? And we see how they get down on the world stage. Okay? So I think we can go on to the. Okay, let's read this. You see Baphomet here? Okay, it says, so the word pagan has been loaded with negative associations ever since the Christian church launched its campaign to vilify and destroy non-Christian religions during its ascendancy. The word pagan has come to mean anyone who follows a religion which is not Christian. I mean, there are just too many labels. I think there's just too many labels, right? It's like, gosh. Is not Christian, Muslim, or Jewish, okay? And is applied especially to polytheistic religions. The label pagan also includes a hedonistic, pejorative element. Freemasonry definitely contains pagan elements, not least the importance of Hiram Abiff and Egyptian and Gnostic influences. So perhaps the question needs to be refined as, do Masons worship a pagan or satanic god? And again, this is Michael Bradley. You know, this is Michael Bradley. I'm not going to pull up his pics and all of that. It's an author, apparently. Michael, like Mason, Master Mason as well, the 13th letter, Michael, right? I'm not saying that's him. I'm just saying this emphasis on the light and not the bearer has been seized on by anti-Masons to claim that Freemasonry worships the sun. Okay? As we have seen in other parts of this book, the sun does feature heavily in Masonic ritual and the 19th century Masonic preoccupation. Again, we didn't read the whole book. With obelisks, Obelisk, not, and the orientation of the lodge would seem to bear this out. Here's a quote by from Albert Pike. All truly dogmatic religions have issued from the Kabbalah and returned to it. Everything scientific and grand in the religious dreams of all the Illuminati is borrowed from the Kabbalah. All the Masonic associations owe to it their secrets and their symbols. That's Albert Pike. And it's really late to be doing this, but I should. Hello. Yeah, you can. Okay, we're good. All right. So cool. This is coming together. I like this. Oh man, that's barely 6. I want to hustle. Whoa. We're good. Covert cousins. The Freemasons are the largest fraternal organization in existence. Membership reached a peak in the 1950s, but even today there are nearly 6 million Masons worldwide, with half of this number based in the US. However, controversy has always followed Freemasonry, and it is sometimes aggravated by the stubborn refusal of the Masons to address accusations of unsavory practices head on. Sometimes it chooses to maintain a dignified silence and avoids engaging in dialogue with the opponents of Freemasonry. Good idea, right? Jay-Z said, don't argue with the person with the distance. You can't tell who the fool is. He maybe not exactly said it like that. From a distance, people can't tell who's who when you argue with a fool. You might have said it opposite of that. Right. Anyways, I don't know where I am. Okay, I see where I'm at here. Other times it goes to such great lengths to improve its image. Like when, like LeBron James opens the school, but then it's like, what's the bad? And that school had duality all over it, by the way, black and white. I forgot what it was called. The history of Freemasonry, its affiliations, and secret societies within societies is intimately tied with all the other major esoteric and chivalric groups of the last 2,000 years, okay? The history of Freemasonry, its affiliations, and secret societies within societies, tied with all the other major esoteric and chivalric groups of the last 2,000 years, y'all. Its structure has been copied. The hierarchical structure, copied and adapted by many other orders. Okay? And is Jim Mars says in Rule by, as Jim Mars says in Rule by Secrecy, the ongoing connective tissue between the modern and ancient secret societies has been Freemasonry. I'll read what it says by this pic that you're seeing here. Let's see. I'm not sure. This may be a random pic here. Here, let me. I don't know what that pic is. We'll just look at it real quick. Okay, we can move on to the next chapter. So George Washington, it says famous Freemason, past and present, past, right? It says Lodge number 22, Virginia here. Worshipful Master of Alexandria Lodge. Okay, the Duke of Wellington, I also see here. Okay, let's go on to Masonic murder. 7. Conspiracy theories involving Freemasonry are nothing new. They have been in circulation since as far back as the late 18th century, when a French priest, Abbe Augustin Barruel, a refugee in London after the French Revolution, wrote his memoirs in the history of Jacobinism and Freemasonry. Since then, Freemasonry has been linked to the deaths of many famous people, including Amadeus Mozart and William Morgan. Even the murders of Jack the Ripper have been blamed on a Masonic conspiracy. Mozart died a swift, though agonizing death at the age of 35. Okay? That's interesting because Taylor equals 35. And it said died a swift, though agonizing death. Okay. That's just okay. Okay. So in the early hours of December 5th, he died, okay? 1791. I think Taylor equals 91 as well. Just scratch everything I just said, okay? Scratch all that. Scratch. And maybe I'm wrong. During his short life, he had composed over 600 compositions, many of which are considered the greatest musical achievements the world has ever heard. He had never enjoyed good health. As a child, he had suffered from endless maladies, and they want to let you know that, right? And in adulthood, his health, and people do have their health, they, like I said, people are unhealthy, people do suffer illnesses, right? But these are celebrities, okay? And they use them to deceive us, okay? Everyone on the main stage, okay? So the official cause of death was severe malarial fever, Miliary fever, a description that is so ambiguous that it reveals that the doctors didn't have the first clue what killed him. The most likely explanation is that a variety of complications caused his death, but he was barely cold in his pauper's grave. One Mozart expert says if murder had occurred, there were certainly many suspects. He owed a great deal of money to, okay, that's just the script, right? And he's a womanizer. Okay, that's just the script, right? They're trying to make it viable. Right? We know that. We do this. Don't we? Yeah. So, Masonic murder, right? Chapter 7. What's this? The Morgan affair? The Morgan affair will still haunts modern Masonry today and remains a sobering reminder that public opinion needs few excuses, excuse me, to point an accusatory finger. Accusatory finger. William Morgan was an opportunist and alleged Freemason who disappeared in 1826 after attempting to publish Masonic secrets. Since then, many explanations have been put forward to account for the events, the most common being that Morgan was murdered by Masons. The Morgan affair, as it became known, set off an anti-Masonic backlash, which would lead to the closure of many lodges and the formation of the anti-Masonic political party, enlisting among its leaders John Quincy Adams. Okay, he lived in Batavia, New York, from 1824 to 1826. Accounts of him differ, but he seems to have been a man of questionable character. Again, they do this throughout history. What's up, Big Stank? Almost towards the end, but I appreciate you jumping in. This one's good. We did appreciate you. Think about it. This is how it is on the world stage, too. They build out their characters, right? They're on drugs. They're crazy. Dave Chappelle's crazy. He moves to Africa. Not saying he died or anything, but they control the news, right? They control how people perceive you, the majority. We don't fall for it, but again, this kind of hits on that, and look how far it goes back, and we don't know what to believe, right? Suspicions began to grow about his conduct and Masonic credentials since his name was omitted from membership rolls. When a new charter was granted, he became embittered and struck up a publishing deal with David C. Miller. Again, this is the Morgan affair. William Morgan. Morgan boasted publicly about how much money he was going to make from exposing Masonic secrets and stirred up much resentment among the Masonic fraternity, which contrived to have him arrested for bad debts, amounting to $2.68 is what it says, and jailed. One day later, his bail was paid, and he was last seen escorted out of the town in the company of several men. Wow. The Morgan affair led to Masons being attacked in the streets. I wonder if that's true or if they just were trying to get sympathy or something. Okay, so Jack the Ripper. Oh, let's Jack the Ripper real quick. Here, let me do this. We're almost wrapping it up here too, right? Jack the Ripper. I'll read it. I thought I had a pick. I might still. Wow. Okay, so Jack the Ripper is a misnomer. The name conjures up visions of a lone assassin stalking his victims under the foggy gaslight of Whitechapel. I'm not sure how to say that. It is just this mistaken notion inspired almost solely by that terrifying nickname, which rendered the murders of 5 East End prostitutes in 1888 insoluble. For Jack the Ripper was not one man, but two killers and an accomplice, is what it says. The facts surrounding their exploits have never been teased from the confused skeins of truths, half truths, and lies, which have been woven around this case. Talk about Freemasonry, right? Stephen Knight, it says, Jack the Ripper, the final solution. Okay. So we have let's just hit up 8 real quick and then we're going to wrap this up. again, this came together very nice. Interesting. It says Christopher Wren initiated 1691 Lodge of Antiquity number 2, London, England. Surveyor of the King's Works, architect of St. Paul's Cathedral, and president of the Royal Society. Interesting, Christopher Wren, and we had the 33rd double-headed Freemason, and Bird equals 33. Larry Bird, the 33, on the jersey, right? Secrets and Lies. Revolution, and this is the last chapter here. And we're not reading all of it. I'll state that again. I would go right to bed probably after that. Revolution and war have always been the most direct and extreme forces of change. Wow. In society. During the last few centuries, Freemasonry has been quick to foment and exploit revolutionary tensions and to profit from the consequences of civil or international strife. Ding, ding. It is only with hindsight that this influence can be so clearly revealed. Only time will allow us to see how contemporary Masonic schemes will play out in the future. Although many already believe that the introduction of the euro has been instrumental in furthering the Masonic agenda. The creation of wealth through conflict is a recurrent theme in the history of the Brotherhood, and the events which precipitated World War I are shining examples of behind-the-scenes Masonic power struggles. Masonic symbolism has been indelibly stamped into prominent features of American and European society, from the design of currencies to the obelisks. I have no idea how to say that word. Obelisks, and architecture that have shaped entire cities. The American Revolution here. Here's a quote from Gordon S. Wood, The Radicalism of the American Revolution. I don't know who that is. It would be difficult to exaggerate the importance of Masonry for the American Revolution. It not only created national icons that are still with us, it brought people together in new ways. You see how they do that? They have this, like they sit around and think about, doing this would do this. What a great idea. As we're slaving away, working, supporting these people and these companies, right? You know what I mean? Some jobs are better than others, but think about it. They sit around and come up with, let's create this tragedy or this disaster, because at the end we'll all come together. It's like, screw you guys, I'm going home, right? Anyways, uh, for thousands of Americans, it was a major means by which they participated directly in the Enlightenment. You see that? Yeah, but it's a script. We don't want a fake world. Many of the revolutionary leaders, including Washington, Franklin, Samuel Adams, Otis, Richard Henry Lee, Madison, and Hamilton, were members of the fraternity. Okay. Yeah. It is more than a mere revisionist delusion of American Freemasons that Freemasonry played a pivotal role in the American Revolution. Bernard Fay, a French historian, is convinced that Freemasonry was the main instigator of the intellectual revolution of the Enlightenment, and spiritual father of its political revolutions. He argues that Freemasons engendered among a limited but very prominent class of people a feeling of American unity, without which American liberty could not have developed, without which there would have been no United States, is what it says. I think we came to the end. It says the spoils of war. We'll read this real quick. The ruling classes operating within secret societies such as the Illuminati, Freemasons, and the Council of Foreign Relations have throughout history conspired to bring about war so that they can profit from lending money to both sides. The World War I is a prime example of this. And this pic may not sync up. It's just the pic that I'm on, okay? Most people wrongly believe that the war was caused by the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary in 1914. The real cause was... Here, let's go back over here. Let's pull one of these up. Let's go back over here. Okay. The real cause was Masonic power brokers who made millions from the ensuing carnage. Edward Griffin calls this the Rothschild formula, which he says has controlled the political climate of Europe since the late 18th century. Furthermore, he states that an arms race had been in progress for many years. The assassination of Ferdinand was not the cause, but the trigger. Let's pull him up real quick because I'm talking about him. Let's go over here. Francis Ferdinand. All right here. There you go. Okay. However, the war would not have been the economic opportunity it became if the Americans had not persuaded to join in. In 1909, the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace had concluded after a year of discussions that there are no known means more efficient than war, assuming the objective is altering the life of an entire people. They then posed themselves a question: how do we involve the United States in a war? This was no mean feat, since the U.S. had always been very keen to follow the advice of George Washington to steer clear of permanent alliance with any portion of the foreign world. Just 5 months before the Americans joined the war, Woodrow Wilson had been reelected to the presidency and on an isolationist anti-war ticket. So what was it? What was it that caused such an abrupt about face? Anyways, that's a question, and that's it. What else? I think we may. Oh, you know what? I think we do have just a few more picks at the end here. Yeah, we do. Oh, let me go down. There's a few more picks at the end here. There you go, the dollar bill. Is there a little bit more here? Okay, this will be quick. Based on the proposition that at least one Ben Franklin and two Thomas Jefferson of the men who created the first design for the Great Seal. Okay, at least one and possibly two of the men who created the first design for the Great Seal in 1776 were Freemasons. Certain design details on the $1 bill have been highlighted by numerous commentators as proof that Masonic symbolism is embedded in the economic makeup of the most powerful country in the world. Those details and the theories which are attached to them range from the plausible to the absurd, but all are included here to show the depth of feeling that this issue has raised over the years. Oh, okay, we looked at that a little bit earlier, right? The all-seeing. Oh, that's not it right there. Excuse me. The eagle. In 1955, the Grand Lodge of Texas published the following insights regarding Masonic symbolism in the design of the dollar bill. On the obverse, on the Obverse is an eagle whose dexter wing has 32 feathers. The number of ordinary degrees in Scottish Rite Freemasonry. The sinister wing has 33 feathers. The additional feather corresponding to the 33rd degree of the same rite conferred for outstanding Masonic service. The tail feathers the tail feathers number 9, the number of degrees in the chapter, council, and commentary of the York Rite of Freemasonry. The Lodge also points out that the total number of feathers is 65, which by gematria, it says right here, is the value of the Hebrew phrase Yom Yachad. Yom Yachad. It means together in unity. This phrase is taken from Psalm 133, and is apparently used in the first degree ritual. We get a gematria sighting, don't we? Gematria right there. Again, Secrets of the Freemasons by Michael Bradley mentions we got a gematria sighting right there. Let's see. Oops. Oh man. Here, let me stand up. Right. See? Okay. All right. Interesting, huh? All right, so I think we're... Oops, let me add that again. All right. See that? So there's the back of the book. Right there. Exploring the murky depths of Freemasonry is like attempting to salvage an old shipwreck on the ocean floor and inside a hall of mirrors, it says. At every turn, there are exciting discoveries, many of which are illusions. The more one digs around, the worse the visibility. I guess it's just how you perceive it. That's what it says. Okay, y'all. I really enjoyed that, man. For real, that came together nice. Okay, we went over all 8 chapters. We didn't read everything, but we hit on everything. I learned some stuff, and a lot of it makes more sense now. I appreciate Richard West and Big Stank. Not our typical decode. This will stay on the Math 2Con 2 channel, right? Okay, and I'll be back with other decodes, probably Daily Decodes 81, and I'm off for a few days, and maybe a Math 2Con live on the horizon. Okay, and so today's February 15th. It's 3:06 p.m. here in Arizona already. Wow. Okay, here in Arizona, and it's, let me see, what is it? It's Thursday. We're not even at the weekend yet, y'all. So I appreciate everybody for let me add that again, for checking this out. The book Secrets of the Freemasons, we just kind of went over it. We did a good job of covering it, and we hit on some numbers still and some celebrities on the world stage, Michael Bradley, and more so past world stage. And we'll say celebrities. I'll say all of them are actors, but anyways, The Secrets of the Freemasons by Michael Bradley. I am Math 2Con, And we have the Math 2 channel and Daily Decodes 81. Appreciate everybody. Until next time.